In the discussion on how America became a country, it is crucial to start with the context of America's formation. This involves understanding the social, political, and economic backdrop of the 17th and 18th centuries that set the stage for independence. The concept refers to the complex interplay of causes and events that led to the American Revolution and the eventual birth of the United States as a sovereign nation. Understanding this context is significant because it elucidates the motivations and challenges faced by the colonies, highlighting the foundational principles that shaped America's identity. A key element of this context is the influence of the Enlightenment, which inspired revolutionary ideas about governance, liberty, and human rights. These ideas took root in the colonies and fueled the desire for independence. Additionally, the economic policies of Great Britain, particularly mercantilism and the imposition of taxes without representation, exacerbated tensions. The colonies' growing frustration with these policies is exemplified by events like the Boston Tea Party and the Stamp Act Congress, which are specific examples of colonial resistance to British control. Furthermore, militaristic conflicts such as the French and Indian War played a role in America's formation. The war left Britain with substantial debt and prompted the enforcement of taxes on the colonies, further straining relations. This complex tapestry of events underscores the importance of examining America's formation within a broader historical framework. Many historians and commentators support the view that the American Revolution was inevitable due to these accumulating pressures. However, there are challenges and controversies within this narrative. Some historians argue that economic factors were more influential than ideological ones, while others suggest that the revolution could have been avoided if Britain had adopted a more conciliatory approach. This context influences other aspects of America's formation by highlighting the fragility and resilience of the newly formed nation. It underscores the foundational values of democracy and self-governance, which were later enshrined in the Constitution and continue to influence American political life today. Additionally, this period set a precedent for the United States' approach to international relations and domestic policy. In summary, understanding the context of America's formation is essential to appreciate how historical, ideological, and economic factors converged to create a new nation. This foundational knowledge provides valuable insights into the challenges faced by the early United States and the enduring legacy of its revolutionary ideals. One key aspect of the question, how did America become a country, is the concept of the Revolutionary War. The Revolutionary War, fought from 1775 to 1783, was a pivotal conflict between the 13 American colonies and Great Britain. It marked a decisive turning point in history as it led to the birth of the United States as an independent nation. The significance of the Revolutionary War in America's path to becoming a country cannot be overstated. It was not merely a military struggle, it represented a profound ideological shift towards self-governance, sovereignty, and freedom from colonial rule. The war showcased the determination of the American colonists to forge a new identity and establish a government based on democratic principles and individual rights. One specific example that illustrates the importance of the Revolutionary War is the Declaration of Independence, adopted on July 4, 1776. This document, drafted primarily by Thomas Jefferson, articulated the colonies' grievances against the British Crown and expressed their intent to be free and equal states. It laid the groundwork for American values and ideals, emphasizing liberty, equality, and the pursuit of happiness. Another example is the Treaty of Paris, signed in 1783, which formally ended the war and recognized the sovereignty of the United States. This treaty legitimized the new nation on the global stage and set the boundaries for American expansion. Supporters of the Revolutionary War highlight its role in establishing a nation founded on democratic ideals. Figures like Thomas Paine, through his influential pamphlet Common Sense, argued that independence was not only necessary, but a natural progression towards a government that truly represented its people. However, the war was not without its challenges and controversies. Historians debate the extent to which the war was a radical or conservative movement, and there were significant internal divisions among the colonists themselves. Loyalists, who remained faithful to the British Crown, faced persecution and displacement, underscoring the complexities of the conflict. The Revolutionary War is intricately connected to other aspects of America's formation, such as the drafting of the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The struggle for independence set the stage for these foundational documents, which sought to balance power and protect individual freedoms. The war's legacy influences America's political evolution and serves as a powerful example of the lengths to which people will go to achieve self-determination and nationhood. Colonial foundations and European influence refers to the pivotal role that European colonization played in the establishment of what would eventually become the United States. This concept underscores the period from the late 15th century to the mid-18th century, during which European powers like England, France, Spain, and the Netherlands established settlements in the New World. These colonies laid the foundational structures of governance, culture, and economy that ultimately shaped the emerging identity of America. The significance of colonial foundations in the context of America's emergence as a country is profound. They introduced European legal and political institutions, such as British common law and representative assemblies, which influenced American political development. Moreover, the economic systems established by these colonies, ranging from agriculture in the southern colonies to trade and shipbuilding in New England, helped shape the economic landscape that supported America's quest for independence. For example, the Virginia House of Burgesses, established in 1619, was the first legislative assembly of elected representatives in North America, setting a precedent for democratic governance. Similarly, the Mayflower Compact of 1620 laid the groundwork for self-governance and community decision-making. Both instances exemplify how colonial practices influenced America's political ethos. However, this colonial influence was not without controversy or conflict. The imposition of European norms often clashed with indigenous cultures, leading to significant displacement and suffering for Native American populations. Furthermore, the institution of slavery, entrenched through European colonial practices, left a lasting and divisive legacy that continues to impact American society. Alternative viewpoints highlight that while European influence was significant, it is crucial to recognize the contributions and resistance of indigenous peoples and enslaved Africans. These groups played vital roles in shaping the culture and economy of the colonies, often in ways that the dominant narratives overlook. Colonial foundations connect intrinsically to other aspects of America's path to becoming a country by setting the stage for revolutionary ideas. The desire for religious freedom, economic opportunity, and self-governance fostered during the colonial period became the bedrock of the American Revolution. The tension between the colonists' growing sense of identity and British rule catalyzed the push for independence. In summary, understanding the colonial foundations and European influence provides essential insights into the complexities of America's origins. It highlights the interplay of diverse cultures, the inception of governance systems, and the seeds of conflict and change that contributed to America's evolution into a sovereign nation. The heading Declaration of Independence refers to the historic document adopted by the Continental Congress on July 4, 1776, whereby the 13 American colonies proclaimed their freedom from British rule. This seminal document, primarily authored by Thomas Jefferson, articulated the colonies' grievances against the British Crown and asserted their right to self-determination. The Declaration of Independence is of paramount importance as it marks the formal beginning of the United States as an independent nation and encapsulates the values of liberty, equality, and the pursuit of happiness, which are foundational to the American identity. One significant real-world application of the Declaration is its role in establishing a framework for governance based on democratic principles, which influenced the creation of the U.S. Constitution. Another example is its enduring impact on civil rights movements. The Declaration's assertion of equality has been a rallying point for marginalized groups seeking justice and equal rights throughout American history. For instance, figures like Martin Luther King Jr. invoked the Declaration's principles during the Civil Rights Movement to advocate for racial equality. Support for the Declaration comes from its status as a symbol of democracy and liberty worldwide. Many scholars and political leaders regard it as a pioneering document that laid the groundwork for modern democratic governance. However, this does not come without challenges and controversies. Critics argue that the ideals professed in the Declaration were not universally applied at its inception, particularly in the context of slavery and the treatment of indigenous peoples. These inconsistencies raise questions about the authenticity of its proclaimed principles and highlight the complexity of America's founding narrative. Alternative viewpoints often emphasize the British perspective, suggesting that the colonies' grievances were exaggerated, or that reconciliation could have been possible, avoiding the violence of the Revolutionary War. Despite these challenges, the Declaration's influence is profound, laying the ideological foundation for the new nation and inspiring future generations to strive for a more equitable society. The Declaration of Independence is intrinsically connected to other aspects of America's journey to nationhood, influencing the drafting of subsequent pivotal documents, like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Together, these documents form the bedrock of American political philosophy and governance, emphasizing the ongoing struggle to actualize the ideals set forth in 1776. Its legacy continues to inform American politics, culture, and international relations, underscoring the nation's commitment to liberty and justice. Thank you for following Stoneface History. God bless America.